There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine, from the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome, but nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the match reaction. Newcastle United 1, Fulham 0. We'll get into that in a moment. I've got comments flying in as well. But before I do get into that, I'll just go through a couple of little formalities first. First of all, if you like what you see, please smash the like button. It really does help the channel up the search results and makes it found more easily. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And also bell notification tells you when I'm live, pre-records or any upcoming shows as well. So thank you very much for that indeed. So tonight I've got Sam on, I've got Rolly on. How are you guys? All right?
Oh, buzzing.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I come to you, I'm going to get into some comments. And Pablo's first in, he says, "Evening, Tony. Love to see that Metro still a Geordie laughing." Yeah. I have put the link in chat, guys. So if you want to come on live and have your say, you can do. That's not a problem. Sefton says, E-I-E-I-E-I-O, the Premiership we go. Absolutely. Sefton says, he taps the ball twice. He taps the ball twice. He taps the ball twice, Mitrovic. Yeah, we'll come on to that as well. Andrew says, "I'm still looking for my chances after that goal. Frustrating game, but hey-ho. How good is it seeing us as a team of ours never gave up and play till the whistle? Best team won." Yep, absolutely, totally agree. Luke says, "Nothing like leaving it late to win up the tune. Hope Bruno's okay. Looked in a lot of pain." Yes, he did, and let's hope so. But yeah, a lot of good teams leave it till the lateness and then win it. So, you know, look how many times Man U used to do it under Fergie. Fergie time. Hi, says Lewis. Hi, Lewis. Mighty Mag. Hi, all. And Spurs getting hammering. That's another step closer to the golden land of the top four. Hope Bruno gets well soon. Yeah, apparently another error from Hugo Lloris, so he keeps on giving out errors this season. Gary says, "Thank Manchester United. Keeping our place warm." Lol. Yeah, absolutely. They kept it warm for 24 hours, but we've took it back now. So thank you, Man United, for that. Ian says, "That was a nerve-wracking. Isak made the difference. Mitrovic was good for the tune as well, lol." Yeah, wasn't he just? Davey says, "Good evening, all. Good evening to you, Davey." Sefton says, "How are you, Tony? Take me home to the River Tyne." Well, the banks of the River Tyne, Sefton, innit? Peter Case, not pretty, but a great 3 points. Yeah, absolutely, Peter. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's always best to win like that. Lewis says, "It was so cold at the game." Yeah, I've heard it's supposed to be getting really bad. The temperatures now, aren't they? Really plummeting. Niall says, "Big ups, Tony boy. What a win for the tune. The night got a laugh at what the pen is even how a rule that you can't touch the ball twice. It's been a rule since the 1800s, 1887, I believe. So there you go." Paul says, "Bruno on crutches and a foot brace doesn't look good at all." Yeah, not great. But that may just be precaution. I mean, getting into the game, we were all full of hope. We thought before the game, I even said a 2-0 win. You know, we did say it would be a tough game. Didn't say it would be easy because by all means, Fulham are not an easy team. But we created a lot of chances in that game. But we just couldn't seem to find that killer touch to put it in the back of the net. And 18 minutes into the game, Bruno went in to get the ball and rolled over on his ankle. Didn't look great, went off. And then he seemed to come back on, and then he started doing a little bit of running, and we thought, oh, hang on a minute, okay, fair enough, you may be fine. But then he didn't look great at all during that first half. Nick Pope went down with, well, we don't know what the ankle injury is. I mean, was that just a bit of tactics from Nick Pope to go down so that Eddie Howe could do a bit of coaching for the team, give them a little bit of a team talk? Because Nick Pope seemed to be fine all game. He had that magic spray pushed on, and whatever's in that magic spray must have done his foot the world of good. To be honest, I don't think there was anything wrong with Pope. I think it was just a bit of tactics from Pope, and I think he's brilliant for these tactics. But so half time came. It was 0-0. Not we dominated the game. We dominated that first half. Second half came. We were on the front foot. Then they had a go. They had a few goals, and then there was a call for a foul where Dan Burn got in, I think, on Pereira. That was waved away. Then Decadova Reid went down from Trippier. That again was waved away by Robert Jones, the referee. VAR looked at the first one, said it was never a penalty, so that's fine. But the second one, they sent the referee the monitor. I don't know what Robert Jones was looking at on that monitor because he got all the angles that we saw on TV. And to me, it looked like it was actually a foul on Trippier, first of all, because if you look at it in slow motion, you see Decadiva Reid actually plant his foot on Trippier's foot. So to me, that's a foul. And Trippier was maybe trying to get his foot out of the way, and then he's obviously knocked him over. I think Decadiva Reid went down too easily, in my opinion. So, yeah, and then for the referee to give the penalty, I thought, well, okay, fair enough. He could have easily overruled that and said, no, it's not a penalty. I'm happy with what I've seen. Gave the penalty. Up bit of games on shift from Pope, keeping a hold of another football on the field, trying to play mind games. Up steps Mitrovic for the penalty. He scores. We're all like, shit, it's 1-0. And then it's like, oh no, hang on, this is ruled out. Why? And then you see the replay. As he hits it with his right foot, it then hits his left standing foot, and it takes 2 touches to go into the back of the net. There again, it's a foul. It's no goal. It's a free kick to us. Obviously, he went off celebrating against us. So if that's what he wants to do, then get on with it, mate. But it didn't stand. I thought ESM did well when he came on in the second half. From half time, tried everything he could. Had a shot that just went wide. Should have hit the target with it, really. Longstaff had a couple of shots and one went way over the bar. I think he just needs a bit of target practice and he should be fine, Sean Longstaff. But, then 88th minute come, 89th minute. Ball comes in the box. I think it's Longstaff who puts the ball in there. Wilson gets it, lifts it back over. Isak's there, header it into an empty net. Easy as you like, couldn't miss from there. Cue the celebrations, and we got 5 minutes of injury time, which went on for about 7 minutes, but we got the job done. We won the game 1-0. Eddie Howe, pretty much happy after the game, said he didn't think the second one was a penalty, he hasn't seen the first one properly because he needs to have a proper look at it. He says, but I didn't think the second one was a penalty. Marco Silva, on the other hand, disagrees. He said the first one was definitely a penalty. He says Dan Burn should have been sent off. It was a red card all day. He says Newcastle got away with a red card. He says, but you could see from the first minute they were going to get away with everything today. He said, so technically we've lost a game through a penalty. He says, and he says the 2 touches, I haven't seen that, so I'll have to look at that in more detail. And that's what Marco Silva said. Bit of sour grapes, I think, from him to come out with comments like that. I didn't think it was a send-off for the first one. If it was a send-off for the first one, then I'm sure Mike Dean on VAR would have sent the referee to the monitor and said, look, do you think this is a red card? So if VAR don't deem it a red card, then how can Marco Silva stand on the touchline, deem it a red card? Is he suddenly become a referee other than a manager now? So that's up to him. I'm going to get the Sam as soon as I get through a few more comments, and then I'll get the Sam. Paul says, that doesn't look good on Bruno. Did anyone notice he won that pen by standing on Trippier's foot? Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it was. That means J7 will have to drive home, says Davey. Very much doubt it. Davey says Pope went down to get Bruno treated. Yeah, good gamesmanship from Pope. Hey, Tony Chippers and Rowley, says Ches. Hi, Ches. Hope you're well. Mike Dean was on VAR, says Lewis. Yes, he was. Bruno's injury may force the issue of midfield player needed. Alan, I think it will do. Yeah, absolutely. We're linked with Neves. We're linked with Savic as well. One of them two, I'll take at the drop of a hat. Sefton Andrew Davies says Chairs. Talk to them. Bring on Palace says Sefton. Absolutely. Why not? Alan says great 3 points needed with that Man U winning their derby. Yeah, lucky win for Man U, wasn't it? Paul says I've really noticed teams are defending deep and trying to counter when we play in this now. That's what they're trying to do because they're panicking against us now. That's the problem. I thought they were going to do a Leeds and shut up shop because they brought Tosin on, didn't it, to try and shore up the back line and play a back three. 4 games, 3 goals, says Davey. Absolutely. Sefton, he's one of our own. He's one of our own. Robert Jones, he's one of our own. The referee, yeah, certainly is. Andrew says, Ari. Paul says, is Silva for real? It wasn't even a yellow, never mind the sending off the plank. We were better everywhere today and deserved to win. They had no shots on target. Yeah, exactly. It is just sour grapes, isn't it? Andrew says, frustrating up front, a tad worried at how many chances we are not taking, but the fact our team doesn't give up impresses me. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with Andrew. Alan says, surprised their manager didn't see anything he didn't like. Yeah, exactly. Andrew says, not a pen in my opinion, just a stun. Mitro didn't impress me at all. He's a donkey. Yeah, he doesn't look great. Does he even barge through a few players? But yeah, as we say, the officials today, I mean, I didn't think they were too great. I mean, we had, like I say, Rob Jones on field and we had him in VAR. Oh, it's always Mike Dean, isn't it? So, yeah. Sam, I come to you. What did you make of today's game and what stood out for you?
Obviously, what stood out is we got 3 points. I thought it was a pretty bad game, to be honest. It wasn't something that we'll write home about or live long in the memory for. I thought we deserved to win though, but again, we need to do more. We need to be more accurate with our shots, and we need to do more. And I thought we were flat as well. So there's obviously, if you can win playing not as great, then it's always a good sign. I don't know what Silva was on about, frankly, because they would have only got 1 penalty from the resulting outcome anyway, because it was in the same move that Dan Burn thing happened. So ultimately, they would have still had just 1 penalty from to show from it. No, it wasn't a red card either. It's just in the fact that they had no shots on target, and it would suggest to me that they didn't come to win. I know people might say otherwise, which is fair enough, but it showed to me that they just came here to get a draw and try and contain her, if anything, which they did for 89 minutes. But ultimately, one of them chances that we had were going to go in. You can't keep banging the door down and not open. And I think Isaac's starting to push Wilson for a starting place now. I really do, because I think Isaac's done more in the game since he's come back than Wilson has, if I'm being honest. I think what's important as well is Maxi got 45 minutes under his belt and he looked sharp. I personally think we could have done more. We could have gave him the ball a bit more and used him a bit more in the areas of the pitch. Same with Isaac when he came on, because I don't think we used them as much as what we could have done. But that's something obviously that'll happen with the more the play. For defensively, we look pretty comfortable. I didn't think Trippier had that good of a game as well. I thought his set pieces were off. Because we had quite a lot of corners and free kicks in decent areas, and we didn't really have the end product wasn't great. But again, Nick Pope really had nothing to do all game. He could have sat and read a newspaper for 90 minutes, and he would have had to move from doing that because it's how comfortable we were defensively. And hopefully Bruno's right. I mean, I've seen the team photo they do at the end when he's putting weight on his foot. He's got no crutches there or anything. He's only got a dress support bandage around it. And then I think Eddie Howe's quote said he's only twisted his ankle, so that's a positive.
Yeah.
But I still think we'll still need 2 or 3 players in during this window. It's as simple as that, because we need cover for if, for example, Bruno is out for a long time, then he needs replacing, because we can't rely on. I'm not being horrible, but we can't rely on just Joe Linton and Shaw Longstaff as centre midfielders and Joe Willock. Unfortunately, we can't rely on them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2 names that are coming at the moment that are being strongly linked to the club. First of all, this guy, Milenko Savic, who plays for Lazio. Apparently, he's got 18 months left on his deal. According to Italian media, he's now broken off contract talks with Lazio because of our interest. How true that is, we do not know. But apparently, we're going to blow Arsenal out the water with the bid. Also, a link to this guy who also has 18 months left on his contract, Ruben Neves, the captain of Wolves, who's already said he will not sign a new deal with Wolves. Either one I'll take. I mean, Savic would be a statement signing. Yes, I know people are saying at 27, you'll have high wages, but at some point, we're going to have to start breaking this wage structure if we want to get the quality players in of that ilk to keep us in the top 4 and have us competing. So there's going to be a time when that actually does come and the wage structure does get smashed. I mean, Sam, out of them 2, who would you have, you know?
I would personally have Neves, because I know he's proven at this level. I've not seen much of Savic or the Italian league, if I'm being honest, so I don't really know of him. Neves has proven at this level as well, and he's still only 25 for somebody who's been around for quite a long time, so he's still got probably 5 years in him, maybe more.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, he's proven at this level, so he's horses for courses, and he can do the same as what Bruno can do, so it's a case of, for me, he might be the cheaper, more gettable option with him being in the Premier League, but I think Wolves might need the money as well, because I don't think they can afford to sign anybody in this window without selling players as well. So it's another thing that they might be looking for if they can get 20 or 30 odd million or something for him. I know they might think it's cheap, but it might be the best offer they get for him. So just have to wait and see, really. But again, you've got Maddison, possibly Tielemans, who's out of contract in the summer, who you could look at. We've got options. It's just a case of, I'm pretty sure we'll probably bid for them eventually. It's just a case of one of them might end up coming, 2 of them might end up coming, none might come. But I think we'll definitely look at all 4 of them options.
Yeah, definitely. Before I come to Rolly, I'll just get into some more comments and then... Right, just bear with me. Okay, so... Yeah, Andrew says, wasn't it, apparently. Not happy they let Bruno run around on that injury. Silly move, says Andrew. Well, yeah, he must have told the medical staff he was fine. Peter says, Ginger James went mental when that goal went in. Hi all, says Julie. Hi all. Hi Julie as well. Hey Tony and panel. Hey Truls, hope you're well, mate. Chaz says, we've seen sitting deep against us and pressing high, and we've beaten them for the most part. Yeah, again, I mean, people are looking at what Leeds done. Leeds sat deep and, parked the bus. And I think that's what Fulham were trying to do when they brought Tosin on, because they were going back to Mark 3. When we threw Isak on, we went to a 4-2-4 formation. So, Julie says, Agent Mitro completed his task today. Yes, he did, didn't he? Yeah, let's hit the ball twice on the way through the goal. Davey says, gotta love Bruno. Said he was okay when he came off in tears with the pain. True Geordie hero. Absolutely. I mean, you could see on his face he weren't comfortable whatsoever. But for him to come off like that, and as Sam says, he's standing there in the picture with no crutches, not on. But then we don't know if that was after the game that he's left on crutches altogether. But hope he's fine. Eddie, like as Sam says, Eddie said it's a twisted ankle, but hopefully He'll probably go off to hospital and get it checked over just to make sure there's no ligament damage, and probably just needs a few days to settle down. Troll says, man of the match, Mitrovic. Julie says, Eddie Howe said Bruno has a twisted ankle, so may not be as bad as feared. Yeah, let's hope it is. Paul says, we had 20 shots a goal today, a bunch of them really good chances, need to work on decision making with the final pass and shooting practice as well. Andrew says, one too many touches when we get near the box, looking for someone to give it, take it on and just be ruthless. Yeah, I mean, that ball Bruno put through for Longstaff, he was just unlucky that the defender got in there first, or else I think Longstaff may have scored that. Mitro loves the tune, says Julie. They came for a point, says Lewis. Yeah, I think they did at the end, but it didn't work for them. Andrew says, mind you, credit where it's due. Fulham defended very well. That Diop impressed me today. Yes, he did. He was very good, wasn't he? Yeah. Guy from West Ham.
I find it strange West Ham got rid of them and you see where they are now.
Yeah, it's just poor decision making. Now they've bid 20 million for a striker tonight, West Ham, to help them get out the relegation zone. Crazy. Sefton says 61 texts from friends and family. It's happening. It's all black and white tonight. Yeah, absolutely, Sefton. Because your missus isn't happy because Liverpool got walloped 3-0 yesterday off Brighton. And particularly Solly March at the double. Spurs 2 down. Yeah, Spurs just look terrible, don't they? And I don't think Conte will be there at the end of the season. Paul says, Shelby and now Bruno out. We are really struggling in the middle now. I think this may force our hand to bring somebody in, but we'll wait and see on that. Alan says, yes, I agree about Trippier. Poor game for him by his own standards. Yeah, I mean, you know, he didn't have the greatest game, did he? And Cher was unlucky with that free kick when it came back off the post. Diggs Black BTW says, hi, what's up, guys? Yeah, hope you're well, mate. Andrew says, Trips was awful today. Yeah, not his best game, was it? Troll says, let's get both. Would boost our squad. Yeah, definitely. Sefton says, I Trippier didn't have his best game, but we won. Let's bang in for Damien Rice. Declan Rice, you mean, that's what he means, Declan, but he's put Damien. I think it might be his, it could be down to that predictive text, which we know what's like. Only cost a few quid. Yeah, about 100 million quid, I think. Declan Rice even. Damien Rice is a singer, he's shite of footy. Yeah. Andrew says, I shouted that loud when the goal went in. I think me dad shit himself and the dogs lol. Yeah, you weren't the only one jumping up, mate, because I was off my sofa like a shot. Hi, Tony Rowley, Chip as an all. Says, I like coffee. Told everybody else. And they came for a pint, not a point, says Trolls for Fulham. Yeah. Possibilities. I mean, Rowley, give us your take on today's game, mate.
A bit frustrating. I thought Fulham defended really well. They are where they are on merit. Though they didn't trouble us at the back, they made it very hard for us. Obviously, Bruno going down was a blow. And I felt we struggled a bit with the pace of the game, or rather dictating the pace of the game when Bruno went off. We weren't as sharp and as moving the ball as quickly. The penalty, I was surprised the second one was given and the first wasn't. But a correct decision by the officials on the double touch. I've seen some papers saying that it's a controversial penalty. No, it wasn't. Free kick. Everyone knows that you can't touch the ball twice without someone else touching it from a free kick or a penalty. Doesn't matter if it's accidental. You can't do it. So it's nothing controversial about it at all. I thought Maxi played really well. I thought he came in. You can see how he's grown as a player because he seemed to be making all the right decisions. His shot wasn't a bad one. You'd want him to hit the target, but that's the only shot he had. But it was that was the right shot. Every time he had the ball, he seemed to be making the right decisions, trying to get the crosses in, playing other people in. He's lost that selfishness that he had when he first arrived at the club. I mean, for the goal, I thought it was a superb cross from Longstaff. It was one of those teasing ones. And Wilson reacting really quickly to get the ball across for Isak to score from about half a foot. Yeah. I thought it was a professional performance, not necessarily great. And I think one of the things that pleased me, especially the second half performance, is that even without Bruno, we're still creating chances. And that's one of the things that you worry about without Bruno, the creativity. But I thought having Isak and Maxi on just created different problems for Fulham. Different problems. And I thought Marco Silva after the game was doing a Jurgen Klopp, trying to blame everybody else but himself. I thought that Eddie said that he thought the first one was a penalty and the second one wasn't, but I may have misheard that. But we had a bit of luck with Mitro's penalty, but overall we deserved the draw. That's why the win. We're flying high still. Only a point behind City.
Yeah. I mean, on the penalty kick, I've got right. This is off the FA's website, and this is the rules on the penalty kick. Okay, so it says the player taking the penalty kick must kick the ball forward. Backheeling is permitted, provided the ball moves forward. When the ball is kicked, the defending goalkeeper must have at least one part of his foot touching in the lane or behind the goal line. The ball is in play when it's kicked and clearly moves. The kicker must not play the ball again until it has touched another player. The penalty kick is completed when the ball stops moving, goes out of play. Referee stops play for any offence. So basically, they're confirmed on there. You cannot touch the ball twice when you're the player taking the penalty. So Mitrovic touching that ball twice. That's the reason, and it's on it's law 14 on the FA's website that you must not touch the ball twice.
I mean, it was unfortunate for him that he slipped just as he took it, and that's the only time that sort of thing happens is when you slip, because your standing foot goes a little bit in front of your kicking foot, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to hit your standing foot. It's just one of those things. Unfortunate for Fulham, fortunate for us, because that was the only way they were going to score.
Well, thing is, he can't blame the ice, can he? Because it wasn't that icy, was it? But he did go down like Bambi on ice, that's for sure.
But, I thought it's an interesting tussle between Mitrovic and Botman and Shah. He gave them a workout.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If I get a guest in for a few minutes, I'll just go into a few more comments here. And Peter K says, just show how far we have come. Didn't play great, but back the win. Now let's push on. That's how teams win games. I mean, some teams win ugly. I mean, you go back to the 90s, Arsenal, George Graham, they used to win 1-0s, didn't they, a lot? So, yeah, you know, so that
the Arsenal was the song.
There's nothing wrong with winning 1-0 sometimes. As long as you score the goal and win the game, get the 3 points, it don't matter how you get it. Give me a striker from Sweden, says Andrew. Yeah, absolutely. Davey says Fulham had won their last 5 games. Yeah, they were on form, and that's what I said. It wasn't going to be an easy game.
They're a good side. They've proved it.
Nat Sheffield Wednesday fan. Yeah. Evening, everybody. Evening to you, Nat, as well. Hope you're well. Your team got another win yesterday, so you're pushing on up that league there, and good luck to you in the next round of your cup against Fleetwood. Alan says, I like tea.
It's not tea, it's hot chocolate.
It's hot chocolate he's got.
Hot chocolate with hot balls is burning my mouth, man.
I've just had a cup of tea, Yorkshire tea as well. Evening all, says Leslie. Evening, Les. Hope you're well. I like coffee. Isak Wilson link up is something we want to see. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Paul's in the chat. Onwards and upwards, Newcastle United. Tony, absolutely, Paul. Brilliant win today. 3-0. Yes, not the greatest game, but you know what? I'll take a 1-0 win and 3 points any day.
Yeah, absolutely.
LA Coffee says Longstaff played well. Yeah, he didn't have a bad game. I didn't think it's just his shooting. He just needs to work on that a bit more.
Yeah,
but I'm sure he'll get there.
That was a brilliant block by what's his game? The guy
Diop, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had an outstanding game, Diop.
He did, didn't he? RJ Magpie, evening everyone. Winning ugly this afternoon, but they all count. Hope Bruno's okay. We must bring in another midfielder this window now. Yeah, I totally agree, RJ. I mean, do you know what? I'll take a 1-0 win any day of the week. I'll take shithousery win, and especially in the last minute of a game, that'll do me as well. I mean, yeah, we hope on Bruno it's not too bad, it's not too serious, and yeah, definitely need to bring somebody else in. I'm sure we will do.
I think
I see. Chelsea's brought Mudryk in on an 8.5-year contract.
Yeah.
I wonder if Lee Charnley's down there because he likes handing out big long contracts, doesn't he?
I wonder how much it's going to feel when Chelsea don't qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah.
Or if they don't qualify for Europe at all.
Yeah.
It's getting desperate with Chelsea, isn't it? Now it's a case of buy now, and if they don't make it, then they're going to be a massive ship come next season.
Well, if they don't make any of the top 7 this season, they won't be in Europe next season. Simple as. Leslie. Paul says, we are creating chances. You could tell Bruno wasn't on the pitch. Sharon Botman stood still looking for a pass multiple times. Bruno links the defence and midfield up. Yeah, he does, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ali Coffee, I've never seen a double hit penalty before. No, it's not something you often see, is it?
It does happen. I've seen it before.
It does happen.
It's not something that is sort of like happens every game or every penalty. It's very rare. But it tends to be when the striker slips as he's just about to strike the ball.
Yeah. Paul says, never a penalty in the first place. Talk about instant karma. Yeah, totally right. Julie says, the cynic in me says he did it on purpose. And I like your profile pic, Julie, as well. The IKEA logo with Isak in there. That's absolutely class, that is. I like coffee. What's chip myself? I'm not chocolate. I like coffee, looks strong. Troll says 3 points in the bag, sha-la-la-la-la. 3 points in the bag, sha-la-la-la-la. Absolutely. Mighty Mag says, my at the moment is Yorkshire tea, great taste. Yeah, you can't beat Yorkshire tea, it's lovely stuff. Andrew says, exactly, we're winning dirty games now because they keep trying for 90 minutes. Long time since we had that at the tune. I love this team. Yeah, exactly. I mean, remember when we played City at St James's Park under Rafa and we beat them 2-1? We got so criticised because that was a really, really bad half hour because we were getting called negative by Gary Neville, by Jamie Carragher. They've never seen such a negative team. Man City went ahead, and then after the break, we got a goal from Rondon and then Matt Ritchie penalty, and we won 2-1. So you don't have to play pretty every game. Julie says, I love coffee, but Yorkshire tea is the best. Yeah, absolutely. Sefton, Tony, give us a song. I'm not singing tonight, Sefton. Grad trips and shy avoided bookings. Yeah, I was getting that the other night when I'd done an instant reaction. I kept getting people putting songs on them. I wanted me to sing them. I was like, gosh, what do they think I am?
Tony, can you do the Dan Burn dance? Can you do the Dan Burn dance?
I can't do that dance. No, certainly not. He's got the moves, Dan, hasn't he?
I've tried it. I've tried it on Ellie, but he dislocated my kneecaps and gave myself 2 ACLs doing it.
Yeah, don't try that at home. Andrew says, I'm still waiting for one single pundit to say, oh, that reminds me of when Bruce was in charge. Well, yeah, hopefully they don't. Thought Trips would have got booked for the challenge that led to the penalty that never was. Yeah, Julie thankfully didn't, so
Yeah,
he's missed it. Him and Shaw are okay now.
yeah, that was a good thing, not getting any trips and Shah not getting yellows. So
Yeah.
they've got to get 10 now before they miss a game.
Wayne says, what about that lad's 39 years of age? Never seen that late on a penalty decision. A lot more to see from Isak and Wilson. How are the lads? Arsenal tilted hot last time I looked. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they look good when they're linked up together. Andrew says 51 here, and I thought about the pen at Wayne, but it shows me we might just begin to get a bit of lady luck on our side. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Well, when they've got VAR now, I mean, I think the referee saw it anyway, which he did. That was very eagle-eyed from the referee, but VAR would have picked it up anyway. Leslie say, talk to Julie. Julie says Trippier was very lucky. I thought, yes, he was. And Leslie says, evening cheers. Right, I'm going to get a guest in, and let's welcome in Gordon. Sorry you've been waiting patiently there, Gordon. I've just had to catch up on some comments. Just give us your thoughts on today's game, Gordon.
Yeah, good. We dominated the game. We just couldn't get that goal cover. We couldn't get that breakthrough, what we deserved.
Until the end, yeah.
Till the end, and then it was a good play. It was a good cross by Sean Longstaff as well for the goal.
Yeah, it was, and then it was well sort of from Wilson to get it back across for Isak, and Isak couldn't miss, could he, really?
Was it 2 yards out? He couldn't miss from there.
Nah. But great to see Isak on the score sheet. I mean, that's 4 Premier League games and 3 goals. It's not a bad start, is he, to his career? I know he's been out injured.
I think next season, if we keep him next season, I think he'll get at least 20 plus.
Yeah, I mean, well, we've got the rest of this season to go yet, so who knows how many he'll get this season.
I'd hope he gets at least 10 or something. That'd be good.
And what did you think about the penalty? Have you ever seen that happen before in football?
Nah. When he scored, I thought, oh, bloody hell, Mitro scored. And then I seen a replay, double tap. And as soon as I seen that, he's got to disallow it because he can't hit the ball twice in the penalty spot.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some funny penalties over the years. I think one was when Thierry Henry, I think, passed it to Dennis Bergkamp, I think, wasn't it? And he scored from there, but you're allowed to do that. You don't have to shoot straight away. You can pass it to another player. But we've seen some strange ones happening.
Didn't Zenden do it in the League Cup final for Middlesbrough, but it got allowed because they didn't say the second touch? I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he did, yeah. He wouldn't have got away with it today, though, would he? Not with VAR.
No.
So not with VAR watching.
Yeah, and who stood out today for you, Gordon?
Botman.
Are you worried about Bruno?
What puzzled me is when he done that, why did I take him off? Because he could have been 10 times worse by playing on for 15 minutes after he done it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, before you go, Gordon, we've got who? So your man the match is Botman, did you say?
Yeah, Botman.
I mean, next week we go to Crystal Palace next Saturday, 5:30 kickoff, live on Sky at Selhurst Park. What's your prediction for that game?
Hopefully another win.
Yeah. And are you hopeful that we're going to sign somebody in this window? And if so, how many players do you think will come in?
I think we'll get at least 2.
Yeah, we've got 16 days left.
I'll be happy with 2 because obviously Newcastle are not going to be rushing and saying everybody. But now we're looking at Bruno. He could be in the next couple of games.
Yeah, I'm sure once they'll settle down and then whether they'll have him off for an X-ray tonight, I don't know, but they'll get it set. They'll get it sorted out anyway.
He's walking off at half time and he was in tears.
Yeah, you would see that. Yeah, right, Gordon. That's great. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thank you.
And another win, Gordon, and back to 3rd place now.
Come on, the Mags.
Absolutely, mate. Cheers, Gordon. See you later, mate.
Bye.
Bye. That was good. Right, I'll just nip onto some comments and I'll get the next one on. Catch up where we were. Ali Coffee says ref was from Merseyside, Mike Dean on VAR. Yeah, I know it's weird, isn't it? You know, we've got the referees from both from Merseyside area. Well, one's Wirral, isn't he, Mike Dean? Troll says we really need to work on our corners, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's happening at the moment with that, but we'll have to sort it out. Andrew says he wasn't a bad ref, like he looked like a copper. He says we're making plenty of chances, so no panic. Sometimes getting a tonkin soon, I'll tell someone will get a tonkin. That's the thing, yeah. Because once we start putting them chances away, they'll just fly in. I mean, Almiron tried his best today as well. Julie says, no wonder they're giving the penalty with Mike Dean on VAR. Wayne says, Andrew, have you seen that sort of decision on a pen, bud? Andrew talking to Wayne. Paul says, how have VAR seen him stand on How have VAR not seen him stand on Trippier's foot, though? I think they've only seen what they want to see. It's ridiculous. It really is. Yeah, I totally agree. I just don't know what they were looking at. Ches says Mitro's penalties happened before, similar to Mahrez, but I think the goal stood. I'm not sure on that one, Ches. What is Sam said? Bolo's ending done it for Borough. Good shout, Gordon. Botman was pure class and makes it look so easy. Sign of a legend, says Andrew. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, outstanding, Bruno. Botman, any. Wayne says Trips was belt as always, proper captain. Yeah, his leadership qualities are there. We can't question his leadership. Just didn't seem to be. His passing just seemed to be a little bit off today again, and but we're all allowed an off day. Lads, you might disagree, but Longstaff was my best player. Yeah, I thought Longstaff he had a good game. Sefton, the ref has joined our WhatsApp group. Has he, Sefton? Very good. I'll speak to Rob later, then I'll ask him what his thinking was on that penalty. Then, Wayne says, "Haven't got a bad thing to say about the ref, and that's not like me. I didn't think he was too bad, to be fair." Man U fans unhappy with Mitro's disallowed goal because it's given us third. Well, sorry, but the rules are rules. You can't touch the ball twice. I read the rule there tonight. It's law 14 in the FA's handbook, and you cannot do that.
It's been on since the 1800s.
1887, I think it was.
It's not as if it's a new rule.
No. 1887, I think, so that's the ruling. Big Joe man the match for me. Do you know what, Trolls? That's a good shout, because I thought, considering with what's happened with Joe Linton, I thought he had a cracking game today. He was everywhere. And he looked like he was out there to say to Eddie, look, I'm going to repay your faith. And by God, didn't he just? Paul says, haha, yeah, third, and their game in hands against Arsenal. Yeah, they've got to play Arsenal, haven't they? And that's next weekend. Andrew says, Man U fans can drown in their own tears. Do one. Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's get the next guest on. And here he is. It's one of our regulars, Mason. Hi, Mason. Hope you're well. Give us your thoughts on today's match, mate, because you would have been there.
It's fairly. It was fairly 50-50 at times. Losing balls at like certain passes I play, and then we'll wait until the 89th minute to get us a bit of spark, and managed to win the game somehow. Because from 85th minute onwards, I thought this is going to be a draw, and then obviously Isak pops up and scores a winner. But he did death as well. And overall, got happy with the 3 points, but I think We should have been like 2-0 maximum half time because with the chances we created.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously you're sitting the Leazer's end, so you would have seen Bruno go down with that injury. Do you think he should have come off straight away, or do you think they were right to leave him until half time?
Nah, they should have took him off because if somehow, like for example, Paulina like fouls him again, it could make another effect on his ankle and it might make it worse. So in my views, he should have took him off straight away because for a precautionary view, because if he got fouled again in the second half or like before half time, then it could be like really serious. And I've seen as well pictures have been put on social media that he's in the moon boot for a precautionary reason.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any pictures of it, but if he is, then it's totally understandable not to take any risks. But I mean, when he went down, it wasn't a great sight when he went down. I mean, hopefully it's just what Eddie Howe says. It's just a twisted ankle, and he comes back. The thing is, if we have to bring anybody in, how many players do you think we'll bring in by the end of the window?
It all depends on whoever wants to come because yes, people don't like some clubs don't like the January transfer window because it's in the middle of the season. Because some clubs like. You see, like for example, if like West Ham lose that Italian who's been a main threat part their main threat part of the season, and then he goes back like the or different league. That's West Ham season. Like basically like that. And if we do that to a team abroad or a team in the Premier League or a team in the Championship, then you can see their season like going downward spiral because they've been on a high until their star player left to go to like Newcastle because he wants to play in the Premier League and he wants more money. So I don't want a big amount, so I just want like 2 or 3 as a minimum.
Yeah, I mean there is a couple of rumours going around. First one, Milinkovic-Savic, the Serbian international who plays for Lazio, 27-year-old. Apparently, we're going in with a £60 million bid for him. He's got 18 months left on his contract. I've not seen a lot of him, but what I've heard from John Sinclair is he's a very, very good midfielder. And also, we're also linked with Ruben Neves from Wolves. Again, he's got 18 months left on his deal. The thing with Savic is apparently he's broke off contract talks according to Italian media because of our interest. Out of those two, who would you have?
For me, to be honest, people might be surprised with me, but I'm going to go with Ruben Neves. Yes, I like the sound of that Savic from Lazio, but I feel like we need another player with quality. But most importantly, we need more Premier League experienced players to settle in, like some of the new guys, like obviously we brought in Isak, who's still getting used to the Premier League still. Same with Botman, and then we've got like Bruno. Bruno's used to it. Bruno's there. He's used to it. But Ruben Neves for me because we need more experienced players in Premier League experienced players because like for this league obviously, but more players to bed in like new lads who have come in from the Premier League, who come in from like different countries who have never played in this league before and who have never stepped foot in this country before, and like Neves, he's been in this country for 5 years now. Obviously count the fifth year for being in the Championship. But
Yeah.
he's used to playing in this country, and for me, getting him in would be a valuable part of the team because he's like Premier League proven, and he's for his first game he can just slot in, make his full debut because we've got a Premier League proven striker outside the top six.
Yeah, I mean, Savic would be a statement signing by all means, but the Ruben Neves, yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, this was the worrying sight when Bruno went down. Didn't look great. But Eddie Howe says it's just a twisted ankle. Let's hope that's what it is. I'm sure he'll get x-rayed and everything scanned just to make sure there's no ligament damage. If it's only a twisted ankle, it might keep him out for a few weeks, but then we'd rather him out for a few weeks rather than a few months. And certainly if we get the Carabao Cup final, you'll certainly not want to miss that. Let's grab into some comments, see what people are saying in the... Right, let's get back to where I was. Chelsea's agreed trolls with man of the match for J7. Wayne says, Mitro can't score against us. We've got a Geordie cards on our side. Yeah, exactly. Andrew says, J7 played like a man who's keeping his licence too early. Yeah, you've done very well, Big Joe. Paul says, Big Joe's ball recovery is so impressive. Even the one tail, he lost it. He ran it all the way and won it back. Yeah. Again, we saw the crap that Kieran Dyer came out with saying you've got to give credit to Steve Bruce for Joe Linton playing where he is in midfield because when he was at Newcastle, Steve Bruce first put Joe Linton in midfield and played well for him. And I just thought, you know what, Kieran Dyer? Shut up, mate. You're talking a load of crap. There's more verbal diarrhea coming out your mouth than it comes out your backside. I mean, what do you make of that, Sam? Kieran Dyer? You're on mute.
He never played him up front. He never played him in midfield under Bruce. He was always the striker.
Yeah, when he just... I mean... Obviously, I haven't seen you during the week, Sam, but I mean, Steve Bruce during the week spoke to a podcast and he said, I'm thankful to the owners of Newcastle United. He says, they were very good to me. He says, you know, I knew my time was up and I knew I had to leave, so I did leave. And he says, and I did recommend Eddie Howe to the board as well and said, he's a very good young manager and would do very well for this club if you got him on board. I mean... He didn't leave. He got sacked because he wouldn't leave, would he?
Got sacked because he was shiting. He's obviously proven he wasn't good enough. I mean, to come out and say recommend Eddie Howe as well, I'm sorry, like, you didn't.
The guy just talks a lot of crap, doesn't he?
Well, he just wants people to, like, he wants us to try and forget the crap we put with the boys too. But yes, he was manager here. Ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, Mason... you know, first of all, we had Steve Bruce this week saying, you know, he was grateful to the owners and he knew he had to walk away from the club because his time was up. And he also said he recommended Eddie Howe to the club. Well, does he forget he got actually sacked from the club, first of all? But he says he recommended Eddie Howe to the owners and said he's a very good young manager and you want him in. I mean, what do you make of what Steve Bruce said?
The bloke is generally he's a Mackham to start with. He's not a Newcastle fan, he's a Mackham. And for what he came out, I mean, why? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the screen because it's all kicking off on the North London derby.
But yeah, why did he come out with that? And then we had Kieran Dyer saying Eddie Howe's not the first manager to play Joe Linton in midfield. He says because Steve Bruce did it before Eddie Howe. I mean, what do you make of what Kieran Dyer's saying?
Again, another bell end for coming out with like that. I mean, and I said he did well for the club, but come on, he shouldn't be coming out saying stuff like that. I mean, how he?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Rolly, your thoughts on Steve Bruce's comments first of all, and then Kieran Dyer.
That's my answer to both of them. Ridiculous.
It's comedy gold, isn't it?
Yeah. He ought to get a spot on the Hot Water Comedy Club at Liverpool.
Yeah, absolutely. On the Royal Variety Performance.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll entertain the king. Andrew says, remember that banner that said, we just want a team that tries. These lads do, all playing hard for the shirt. Can't ask for any more when you do that. Fortune comes your way. Absolutely, Andrew. We've always said we demand a team that tries, not a team that wins. So there you go. Too soon, Andrew, too soon. Chippers, that picture on your wall is well wonky, says Andrew.
No, it's just the way I'm holding my phone. That's all.
There you go. That's your answer, Andrew. Troll says, love Bruno. He's tweeted already. Oh, brilliant. I'm not sure what he said, but we'll have a look at that. I should imagine it's, it'll be something positive that's come out of it. Hopefully he may just be saying he's fine or whatever. And, well, we know he's not too fine, but hopefully it's not too bad of that long term. And then that he'll be fighting fit very soon. Just going to have a look and see what he's actually commented, and I'll tweet it out rather. He said, very sad about today's injury. Hopeful it's nothing serious, and that I can do what I love most as soon as possible with a black and white heart, and he's number 39. So that's what Bruno's actually come out and said on his Twitter. Wayne says, yeah, I was a little bit worried about the way the fans were going to react to Big Joe, but they were all right, chanting his name. We all make mistakes, and whether you learn by them. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, some people are saying, should he really be playing for the club? Sorry, at the end of the day, it's like somebody said earlier on the chat in the warm-up show, I think it was a guy called Mark. He said, basically, anybody in normal walk of life, if they got done for drink driving, they'd still be going to work on Monday morning. So what's the difference? Exactly true. Exactly.
And again, look at Darren Gibson, because some of the Magnets were kicking off for him for what he did.
Yeah.
And then, like you said about going to work on Monday, he didn't. He got suspended, and then 2 weeks later, he got his contract ripped up.
I think his was a lot worse than what Joe Linton's was, because I think he was on drink and
drugs, but that's just like a prime example. That's just like a prime example.
Yeah. And he crashed his car into somewhere in Dunoff, didn't he? Run off or something. But Wayne says 2 players till the summer. Yeah, absolutely, Wayne. Andrew says it's a rare thing, but I'll grab it. Mikey Max says Tony Spurs got 3 hard games. Man City twice. Fulham. Pressure going to be on Spurs if they get out from them. Yeah, the pressure will be on them and Conte.
I just lost 2-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah. Is Mr. John United coming on the show tonight? I don't think so. I'm not sure.
He was at the match, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was at the match.
Chelsea is I really like Savage.
Sorry, did you see what stream John did? He put his camera on top of a bloody bin or something at the match and was like, "Oh, I'm going to do it. This is me and me match." And I thought, John, so what is he just coping? Just like, he's literally doing it with like right outside the stadium. Like he's just put his camera on top of a bin or something and went, "Right, I'm going to do a match vlog." I'm thinking if he goes through the corner, you'll see Peter and Paul and that stood there. Why don't you go and ask them to hold it for you?
Jesus Christ, man!
Honestly,
he makes you laugh. John just makes you laugh, doesn't he? I mean, it's hilarious.
Was he at Old Trafford yesterday?
Yeah,
probably was. Yeah,
I think he was in charge of VAR. That allowed the equaliser. He was in charge of VAR. That allowed the equaliser.
Oh God, yeah. Troll says Savage is class. No, we don't need Premier League proven players. We need quality, no matter where they come from. Fair enough, in your opinion. Ches says, I really like Savage, but never scores goals, which is what's needed from midfield. Yes, he does. I mean, he had a shot yesterday that cracked the crossbar, cracked the bar, and I mean, what a hell of a shot that was against West Ham. Wayne says, neither for me, lads. Paul says, Dyer refused to play for Bobby. Anything he said apart from that point is in one ear and out the other. Absolutely. Trouble at the end of the Spurs game, says Les. Yeah, I think that's what Mason was going on about. Looks like Conte is joining the race for the next manager to potentially get sacked by Lampard, Rodgers, Moyes, Marsh and Klopp. Yeah, I mean, Conte's contract's at the end of the season. They can't sack him, but they may just say, you know what, just carry on at the end of the season and then off you pop. Ian says, I remember when Dyer and Boyers bust up, never liked him after that. Yeah, that's when Graham Souness was in charge, and we all remember that press conference when the tea lady walks in and gives Graham Souness a cup of tea. That made everybody's day. But they reckon Souness said to them when they come in the dressing room, he says, if you want to fight, he says, take me on instead. Come on, I want to see how hard you are. And none of them would, apparently, so there we go. But then as a manager, he shouldn't really be doing that, in my opinion. Julie says, trouble at the end of the North London derby.
Yeah, that was Leno and Richarlison were having a head. Yeah. And then
Leno was keeper that day, wasn't he?
Yeah. And then when
it was Ramsdale,
man. Leno got near
Ramsdale.
You mean Ramsdale because I'm sure Leno was playing for Fulham the day.
Leno plays for Fulham.
Ramsdale. Sorry.
Ronnie Sander, John Sinclair.
Yeah. Ramsdale and Richarlison had a bit of a beef by Ramsdale's goal, and then as Ramsdale's moving away behind the goal line, some idiot from Spurs tried to jump on the pitch and got pushed back down, and had to drag Ramsdale away.
God. Julie says London. Ian says supporters were on the pitch. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Steve Bruce says delusional. If an idiot, says Stephen Field. Yeah, absolutely. Julie says Richarlison tried to headbutt Ramsdale just before.
I didn't see that.
Wayne says Arsenal as a team to beat reminds me of the unbeaten days. They don't want to get rid of, but they don't want rid of Arteta now. Well, apparently, according to some Arsenal fans, they said if they don't sign Mudryk, Arteta's got to go because he can't bring players into the club. I mean, Chelsea's just keeps going in for players that everybody else wants, don't they? And they've tried with a cheeky loan bid from West Ham for Mikel Antonio, and West Ham told them where to go. Souness's approach after that Dyer Boyer fight was stupid. Thankfully, we have a manager now who deals with issues like a gentleman. Absolutely. Right, I've got some more guests to bring in. So first of all, I'll bring in Pete. How are you, Pete? You all right?
All right, yes, Gunny.
And it's Lewis as well.
Peter,
hi, Lewis.
I didn't want any food. I didn't want any food pics on the night mind.
Did you see Sinclair's video on the bin?
Actually, it might not be on the bin. He might have actually put the camera on Alan Shearer's statue on the bottom of the statue and then stood like from it. That's what it might be.
Before I come to you, Pete, I'll just nip in these couple of last comments. Andrew says, didn't the rules change on fans on the pitch and should be points off? Should be, especially after the Everton game last year. Hey there, Pete. I mean, yeah, we've seen some scenes like Everton fans think they're too big to go down and they're not happy the way the club's being run.
No one's too big to go down.
They flirted with relegation for far too long. It's time they went. I'm sorry, but it's time Everton actually went down to the Championship and make him a reality check. And who's going to buy any of their players? Because I don't think there's many players on that team that's going to be sold. We all know Calvert-Lewin's and Moran's still over there, Vivian Westwood. But other than that, I mean, who wants to buy some of them players? They're going to struggle in the Championship.
I think the only player who could sold from Everton, Onana. That's the only one I can think of.
T-Rex.
Or T-Rex.
No.
I don't want anyone from Everton because they're all shite. Was even the game from Everton because they're all shite.
We're not saying that we want them. We're just saying that someone will buy them.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Everton's just a club in turmoil. I mean, I mean, I'll give Yerry Mina his dues. I mean, for him to actually get up and get out of his car and speak to the fans, I mean, I thought that was pretty good of him, even though it was a bit silly in some ways, you know. But
Yeah,
one of those things, isn't it? And I think he was just probably trying to calm the situation down, but sometimes it's not worth it because you could end up, you could end up getting hurt because you don't know what people are carrying on them as well, and that's the thing.
Tin pot scouse magnums, that's all you are. Tin pot scouse magnums, that's all you are.
Yeah. I got a question.
That's all they are. That's all they are at the end of the day. I mean, I'll bring this guy on screen. I mean, how much do you think Everton will get for this player if they go down? I mean, Anthony Gordon, do you think they'll get much for him?
Oh, no, he's been terrible. He's terrible, him. He's been awful this
There he
season.
is, Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, man, no, that's Eddie is on that. That's Eddie is on that.
It's actually Claire Bolden, but he looks like Anthony Gordon, doesn't she? So,
Yeah.
it's a great lookalike.
Actually, I thought it was Sue Barker.
No, definitely not Sue Walker. But yeah, I just thought I'd put that up for a bit of a giggle but yeah, I mean, I'm going to come to you now, Pete. I mean, obviously you beat the match today as well.
Yep.
Give us your thoughts on today's game, mate, and obviously Bruno.
Was not the greatest. You could say we had loads of chances. Shame we couldn't score more than one today, but I'm just glad we got the winning goal through Isak. He's back. Our record signing is back. And now we're going to start seeing the best out of him as well. Good link-up play for Wilson to assist as well. That partnership may happen very, very soon. It could well and truly do. I mean, he was at the right place at the right time, and Isak couldn't miss that at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bruno went down the 18th minute. Not a great challenge. And, I mean, Pete, should he have played on, or should Eddie have took him off there and then and brought ESM on and pushed Joel into midfield? I mean, do you think he was good to play on, or do you think he should have come off?
If he wasn't comfortable, he should have came off sooner than... I mean, hopefully it's not a serious one. Hopefully he's just got a protective boot on just to make sure no further damage comes to what he's done to his ankle. I've got the feeling it could be a game or two we might miss.
Yeah, definitely you'll get an X-ray and maybe a scan as well on that. I mean, I'm going to ask you the same question as well, Pete. We're being heavily linked with players. Italian media as well as other media are saying that we've applied a £60 million bid for this guy above Arsenal. He's got 18 months left on his deal. This is Savic, who plays for Lazio. Would be a statement signing if he came in. Apparently he's broken off contract talks because of our interest. That's according to Italian media, by the way, so that's not confirmed that he has actually done that. But so there's him, and also we're linked with this guy as well, Ruben Neves of Wolves, the captain. Apparently he's told him we will not sign a new deal with him. He's got 18 months left as well. Out of those two, who would you have, or would you want both?
Oh, I would take both. I think they're both good. I think that Savic looks really good from Lazio from what I've been reading off him. Neves will be great as well. Premier League proven, can score screamer now and then as well. I would happily have them both in.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is a sight we didn't want to see today, was it? Bruno going down in agony like that. But let's hope it doesn't keep him out too long. I'm going to come to... Yeah, I'll come to you, Lewis. I mean, what was your reaction?
I was at the game as well.
Yeah, I know. You were at the game, yes, Lewis. And what was your reaction today? Because you sit near Mason, don't you?
Yeah, we sit in the same... Like, we sit in the Leazer's end. I sit one end, and he sits at the opposite to me.
Did you have a clear view of Bruno going down?
I didn't see it clearly, but like I saw some pictures on Facebook. It looks like he's been pushed and he's went over on his ankle. It does look pretty bad.
Can I just show you something, right? Before you, but like, if you're squeamish and you might want to look away, that's his ankle.
Yeah.
From what I saw,
Nasty, innit?
from what I saw, as he's putting his foot down, he caught the end of the other guy's foot, which is why it twisted.
Yeah.
It wasn't a foul, just one of those. In my eyes, it's just one of those unfortunate coming togethers. It just by hitting his foot, the other guy's foot, it just twisted.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's not going to be too bad.
Yeah, I'm still confused about their penalty. It was so bloody soft. It was so soft. He actually stepped on Trippier's ankle and went down and got the penalty.
Yeah, but they probably should have given them a penalty before when Dan Burn was wrestling with that guy.
Yeah, but they thought that was not a penalty. But
yeah,
one of those...
when I looked on the big screen, I had a closer look. It looked like he got fouled on the line.
Yeah, but no, the line is the box.
if you're on the line, that counts as in the box.
It's a bloody stupid rule, isn't it? That.
But the thing is, though, still, I mean, still over the penalty, it was a stupid decision because actually, obviously, like Sir Pete, Mason, and Lewis, you were at the game, so you wouldn't see it. But obviously, on TV, you see the replay of it, and if you watch Match of the Day tonight or record Match of the Day, you'll see it. It quite clearly, Decadiva Reid actually steps on Trippier's foot first before the foul takes place. So there's nothing Trippier can do about it. And how's Mike Dean not seen that? How's Robert Jones not seen that? That's the thing, you know.
Because bloody Mike Dean, he hates us.
Yeah, the winker. But take the eye out, and you know what we've got in the middle if you put the A there. And then we had Rob Jones, the referee, who I thought, to be fair, didn't have a bad game, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
he didn't have a bad game, but some of the decisions were a bit wrong.
I thought overall it's pretty decent. The penalty one is more that he's been brought over and told what's happening, as opposed to making the decision and being having to overturn it. I think that when they go to VAR for something that they've let go, I think they feel a lot of pressure to actually change the decision.
Yeah,
especially if it's one that's like borderline. He wasn't sure at the time, so he let it go. And they said, "Come and have another look at it." And I think they go, "Oh shit, I've made a mistake." I think that's their first reaction. So they're already going over to look at it with the thought in their head that they're actually going to overturn it.
Yeah, I mean, today the stats are, 63% possession for us. We had 20 shots at goal, he had 5. We had 5 on target, they had none on target. We had 10 corners, they had 5. 6 fouls from us and 14 from Fulham. The stats are there.
How did Fulham not have a shot on target? Technically, had a penalty. That's a shot on target.
No, because it was disallowed, so it's classed as not a shot on target, Lewis.
But you know what I mean, I recorded the game and I was just watching. I came in, like the commentator said, the scrums would be getting credit for that.
Pete, I'm going to ask you the same. I'm going to ask you this question as well. After the game, Marco Silva spoke to Sky, and he says he wasn't happy because he said the first one was definitely a penalty. He says Dan Burn pulled down Pereira, should have been sent off for it as well. It should have been a red card. He says, I don't understand why the red card was never gave. He says, and then they gave the second one, he says, which was definitely a penalty as well. So technically it was 2 penalties, he says there. Also, he then goes on to say that I still don't know why Dan Burn wasn't sent off. He says, and I also think, he says, Newcastle got away with everything with that referee. He says, you could tell from the first minute of the game, he says that everything Newcastle done, the referee was going to let them have. He said, and then they get the fortuitous penalty decision, where it hits the foot twice. He says, he says, yes, they're a good team. He says, but overall, he says, we deserved at least a point out of that game. What do you make of his comments?
Just sour grapes, salty stuff again, wasn't it? The same one who said that when we play them down at their place, that Chalabaz wasn't a sending off.
Yeah. I mean, what a guy, isn't he? I mean,
How can you say we
he had a
deserve
good
more than the point? We didn't even have a shot on target. We've got to actually have a
Exactly.
shot on target to deserve a game, win a game of football.
And
Yeah,
I can understand
absolutely.
it being a little bit disappointed because they defended really well and to let it go at the end. They disappointed that they thought they could probably have got a point, but they didn't. I mean, we were the better team, and at the end of the day, we got the goal. They didn't.
Absolutely.
Tony,
that's-
I'm going to
that's
shoot.
what-
So I've got to get me stuff sorted for work because I'm on early tomorrow. So
Right, Sam, no worries, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, Sam.
Can you let everybody know where you are
Cheers,
before you
chat.
go, Sam?
Yep.
If you do you want to let people know where they
Oh,
can find you? Are you on Channel 900
Channel 9
tonight? Or not? No.
Channel 900. Not tonight, no, because I'm on early. So tomorrow night I'm back on from 10 o'clock. Our ladies out there, single ladies, get watching. See you then.
Yeah, Chipper's in his mankini later on.
Oh dear.
See you later.
See you later, Sam. Cheers, mate. Good lad, Chippers. I mean, I'm going to go around the board and ask people for their man of the match. I'll start the bottom, so I'll start with Pete first. Who was your man of the match today, Pete, and why?
Joe Linton, he was just everywhere again, winning the ball back. His hold of play again, work rate was just exceptional once again, and he knew he had to repay the fans back in a way for what's been going on. He was brilliant again the day, and I think that's why Eddie had to play him. He was so important to our team, and he was just everywhere.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one, Pete. I mean, when was the last time we've ever thought, when did we ever think Joe Linton would be important in our team? And I mean, it just shows, doesn't it, the transformation that Eddie Howe's done on him.
Yep.
Lewis, who's your man of the match and why?
Oh, probably Joe Linton as well. He actually dominated the game. Like, the crosses he did, we could easily have had about 3 or 4 goals today if they were on target and that.
Yeah, definitely. Mason, your man of the match and why?
Botman, because he was solid at the back as per usual. No outstanding performance.
Yeah. Rowley?
It's a difficult one. I thought that there's some very notable performances. I thought that Joe Linton had a really good game. Obviously, the defensive foot Botman was solid. I'm going to actually go for Sean Longstaff. I thought that he's got an incredible motor. He was unlucky with his shot being blocked. He seemed to be screening the back four really well, and not really putting the foot wrong. And he, with the amount of sticks he gets when he plays well, he deserves a bit of love.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's a few players on that pitch there I could probably say man of the match. I mean, you could give Isak for his goal. I mean, but if I'm honest, and I mean, this one's a totally different one. I mean, I thought Joe Linton had an outstanding game today. Yep. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was brilliant. I thought Botman played well. You know, Trippier not his best. Sean Longstaff had a great game as well. But I'm actually going to give my man the match to Fabian Schär. And the reason why is I thought he'd done a lot of work today, a lot of hard work. He ran forward. He was trying to pick out passes to players. The free kick he took. Yeah. I mean, we thought Trippier was taking the free kick off the post. I mean, he was unlucky with that one. I think Leno actually gets a touch to that as well. And if he does, it's a very good save. But I thought all round Schär looked really good. You know, he's one of these centre halves that doesn't just stay in his own half. He likes to go wandering into the other half. He reminds me of Philip Albert in a lot of ways. So for me, I thought Shea had a great game, and he's got my man of the match for today. And I'm going to go to some comments.
Well, can I just give an honourable mention to Dan Burn, because I thought that he was superb, and he's starting to become a bit of an attacking threat as well.
And let's not forget, it was Fulham who gave me starting place first of all in football. So there we go. Wayne says, Boyer and Dyer, that was not a fight. It was two kids in a playground. Yeah. Paul says, get a picture of Happy Gilmore's first caddy, the blind one. It's definitely Gordon. The blonde one. The blonde one. Joe Linton's in. He says, need two midfielders and a wing and a backup right back. Yeah, I think we'll probably get three, I reckon, in. Back up to Shelby and Bruno, the two midfielders. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
I wonder how Joe Linton got home then tonight.
I think Bruno. Look, I think he got took in by Bruno the day.
Yeah, but if Bruno was in that like car, like the cautionary boot, he can't drive.
Hopefully, it's fine now.
Yeah, they might have a chauffeur to take them home. Who knows? Maybe the guy from the club drove them home. Maybe another one that's in all the pictures. Wayne says Tony Defo should have took him off. It happened against Leicester and Newt was slightly injured. Yeah. Ian says, if we get Neves, is Lascelles going as part exchange? That's another one, yes, because apparently Wolves want Lascelles. They wanted Craig Dawson from West Ham, and West Spam have turned around and said, you're not getting Craig Dawson. But now they're turning their attentions to Lascelles, and we want about 7 or 8 million for Lascelles. If there's a chance of that happening, then yeah, pack Lascelles off. You know, I'm sure people give him a train ticket to say, there you go, back down to Wolverhampton, one-way ticket, don't come back.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, would you be happy with that, Peter, if Lascelles went to Wolves?
Yeah, he's playing with need out the door now. I think his time's done at this club now. I mean, you've seen him performances, and it's just not good enough anymore. That is
you
the
just
thing.
Can't get in the team.
Can I get? Well, what's that tell you? Captain can't get in the team anymore.
Yeah. I mean, if we do get rid of Lascelles, we'll have to get a replacement in, but I reckon we'd get somebody on loan just at the end of the season, so then in the summer we can strengthen that position a bit more, if I'm all honesty. Ian says, Red, he stood on Trippier's foot, had no control of the ball. Yeah, absolutely he did. Paul says, yeah, he stood on Trippier's foot, lost his balance. How can a player get out the way if someone's standing on his foot? It's common sense. These fouls lot still don't seem to have. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Wayne said, I didn't think the ref had a bad game, and I freaking hate refs when we're playing. Yeah, absolutely. Marco Silva got a yellow for complaining to the referee. Yes, he did. Right at the end of the game, he went up and had a go at the ref, and they gave him a yellow card. And that's how it should be. Native Nick Gaiman says, Adidas need to be the new shirt makers. Thank God for that. Mudrick to Chelsea, £454 million on transfer spend. How can they spend that and not break FFP? Yeah, I mean, that's a strange one, Nate. I totally get that. And is that true that Adidas are coming in to be our shirt supplier? Because I've not heard anything. Where have you seen it? Because
it's just rumours at the minute.
It's just rumours at the moment, yeah. Mighty Mag says, which goal was best? Bruno last set in the game against Leicester or Isak's today? I've got to say Bruno's because, yes, Isak scored, but it was a diving header. He ran about 60, 70 yards to get into the box to get on the end of Joe Willock's cross. So, yeah, I've got to say Bruno's, but Isak's is important for getting us back above Man U. Longstaff man the match says Nate. Later Sam says, Andrew says, I've got Bluetooth headphones on and was stood at the lavvy when Chipper said that. Leave the single ladies to later, lol. I nearly missed the bog laughing, man. Don't miss the hole, mate, because it's a mess that you make on the floor. You've got to clean it up after yourself. You know what? I'm giving it to Wilson for not letting his head go down and leading the line for 90 minutes. He worked hard. Yeah, he did, absolutely.
He had that cross-tracking turn and shot as well that Leno saved. Got the right goalkeeper this time.
Yeah. Davey says, I agree, Rolly. Longstaff was my man the match unusually. There you go, Rolly. Somebody's behind you. And he made the goal, says Andrew. Yes, he did. Totally
it's a
agree,
beautiful
Rolly, says Andrew.
It's a beautiful cross in by Longstaff that led to the goal.
LA Coffee says, I think Joe Linton's got a driving ban. Yeah, he will do. He'll get dealt with by the court at the end of the day. Foxy says, as bad as Lascelles is, it's no good moving on players with no replacements and first and injuries like Bruno. Yeah, absolutely. We've got to make sure we've got a replacement before he goes. All debt was wiped when Chelsea was sold, says Davey. Yeah.
That's not fair, then.
Yeah. Paul says, I read an article somewhere saying Lascelles, if he's helped, he's no longer needed at the club. He would retire. Guilt trip much? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if we do get a replacement for Lascelles, then I think he will go. Simple as that. And if he does want to go to another team and he wants to retire at his age, then let him go. That's up to him, isn't it? You know.
I'd be surprised if he retires.
Talking about Fulham, I wouldn't be surprised if the FA are looking to give him a fine as well, because the way they acted again was stupid again.
Yeah, I mean, for that foul, I mean, in the first half when Pereira had done that foul, he ran up to the referee. You know, he should have been booked for standing in front of the referee, shouting at him. The referee should have got a yellow card out.
Like Leno was taking the piss. Sorry, but he was taking the piss. Like taking so long to take his goal kicks and like doing his drop kicks as well.
Yeah,
but we've done that. We did that at Liverpool. We did that at Arsenal. Everybody does it, so it's not.
They do.
But you know what I mean? Like Nick Pope got booked for this, like just walking and trying to put the Mitrovic off. Surely he should be booked for time wasting.
Yeah. Wayne's just come in with a comment. Longstaff was my man the match. Said that at the start. Yeah, totally agree with you. Wayne. So guys, we're going to be coming to the end of the show, but I'm going to go around the table and ask people for where you can find you. So Lewis, do you want to let people know where they can find you, please, mate?
Yeah. I'm going to try and do a quick video tonight. If I can't, I'll try and do it sometime because it's one of those things. Cause obviously, we're looking after like a small child. This video could on the night. Obviously, you can find me on Newcastle Disabled Fans on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for that, Lewis. So give Lewis a good look and a subscribe. Pete, where can people find you? Are you got any shows coming up?
YouTube, of course, is PD Proudlock. Of course, my quick thoughts out after the game. I'm now uploading the fan reactions, and I've decided I'm going to do the match review and player ratings at 8:30 tonight. So, PD Proudlock, feel free to subscribe and check out, and all my socials, so my Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all PD Proudlock. Feel free to follow me on there.
Thank you very much, Pete. And Mason, where can people find you?
Mason Ford on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Instagram's MFC639.
Oh, brilliant! Thanks, mate. Rolly,
you can find me on Twitter at Pole67. If you follow me, I'll follow you back.
Nice one, mate. Nice one. And with me, you can find me on Twitter at TonyTony31. Give me a follow and I'll follow you back. Also, you can find me on here, on my channel, which you're on tonight as well. But before I go into anything else, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It does help the channel up the search results, good on the algorithms. So if you haven't smashed that like yet, then please smash it on your way out. That is much appreciated. Thank you very much. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, and please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And also the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have any upcoming shows or any pre-recorded videos as well, like I did yesterday. Got some final comments coming in here. Let's go to where I get back to me comments and find out where I was. Paul says, fair play to Pope, seeing that double touch on the pen, running to inform the ref. They had no idea and probably wouldn't have went to VAR if he didn't complain. Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. Foxy says, don't blame Pereira going mental. First to be fair, as Longstaff was clearly looking for the foul. We can't be that biased, guys. Oh, we can, Foxy, we can.
Yes.
Troll says we waste time, so it's throwing stone in the glass house and so on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We can't call it that teams for it. Unfortunately, we do it just as bad as everybody else. Great show, guys. Thanks all, says Mighty Mag. Troll says, is Lewis in a Wolves shirt?
No, it's the third shirt for Newcastle goalkeeper shirt.
There you go, guys. So it's definitely not a Wolves shirt.
You
You get banned off the show if you come on with a Wolves shirt. I'm only joking, Lewis. You wouldn't know, mate. You wouldn't.
I know. By the way, I am still here, but my camera's froze as bloody per usual as it does on the night.
Oh.
You can still be.
Andrew says, well done, Tony. Great show. Yeah, thanks very much, Andrew. Every team wastes time. Arsenal had a right go at us for doing it, but they did it late in the second half against Spurs today. Only tactical when it suits the big six, though, says Paul. Yeah, you're totally right there, Paul. I totally agree with you. See you later, says Troll. See you later, mate. PD still at St James's Park, says I like coffee. Great show, says Troll. Thanks very much, mate. I like coffee. Bye, Tony, PD, Rolly, Mason, Lewis, and all. Bye to I like coffee.
Bye, I like coffee.
Wayne says, and now where to find PD. Proud luck. I will sub, but just forgot.
Cheers, Wayne.
Good lad. Get on there and do it. Andrew says, that's a nice shirt, Lewis, actually. So there you go. Andrew likes it.
Hang on. You see, prove it is a Newcastle shirt. The sleeve sponsor.
There you go. Right.
Andrew says, one of my sons is called Lewis. Cool name. There you go. Davey says, all teams play players dive. Today, Fulhams were falling like swatted flies. Yeah. Foxy says, North London is red. Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal have the bragging rights. Always enjoy seeing a Spurs meltdown. Yeah, we do. It's brilliant. I mean,
they weren't very good at all today, Spurs.
No, not at all. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a great day all around for Newcastle. And just before I go, guys, actually, I just wanted to get your thoughts as well. Just quickly on, I mean, obviously we beat Leicester in the Carabao Cup. We got the semi-finals and we got drawn away first leg against Southampton. I'll start with you, Mason. What was your reaction to that draw against Southampton?
I was really pleased. Obviously, Southampton starting to pick form up now, but we beat them 4-1 at their place when they were really, really poor, and that cost Rolf Hasenhüttl's job. But since they win it against Man City, they started to pick up form against Everton yesterday, and I think it could be tough when we play them in a week and a bit's time. So, yeah, hopefully we'll go up there and do the job.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pete, what was your reaction to that?
Good draw, really good draw. I think we can do them to win both the legs.
Yeah, I think we can as well. I think, do you think Guardiola went there and didn't show them any respect and that's why his team lost?
He did. He rotated a lot. I mean, he had Walker at centre-back. You don't put Walker in the centre-back in a back four. I thought Foden was non-existent in the game. It was just, I think he rotated a little bit too much. He didn't really go for it. And Southampton, I thought, were really good, worthy of the win. They could have been more than two. I thought they could have had more than two, possibly.
What a hell of a goal from Dnipro as well, wasn't it, that lob?
Oh, yeah.
Of Gineppo, well, it's a great goal, but the keeper's well off his line. And Gineppo's just not, he's off his line, I'm going for goal, yeah. And there you are.
And Lewis, your thoughts on the draw?
Probably the best time we could get.
Yeah.
Thank God we thought you'd Man U, but that's a bonus because we could face them in the final and we could beat them in the final if we do get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the benefit is we are at home for the second leg. What's even better?
Yeah, absolutely. Which you always want the away leg first and the home leg second, because the home leg's always the better one to have second anyway. Just got some comments there before we head off. Andrew says, see you soon, lads. Keep safe and remember you're a wombo. Thanks, Andrew. Mighty Max says, Tony, what was Richard's XPL CEO of the Premier League with our owner sat the match? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I didn't see that. Tanji says, Richarlison antics at the end of the Spurs-Arsenal game was typical Richarlison behaviour. It's about 10 the FA gave him a lengthy ban for bringing the game into disrepute. Yeah, he just thinks he can do what he wants, doesn't he, Richarlison? He did it at Everton. Andrew says, are the same Richards that did all he could to stop our takeover? Oh, was that Richard Masters I heard about? Oh, was he sat there, was he? Oh,
Yeah, it was,
okay.
apparently.
Ah, right. Well, maybe he's just trying to be friends with us now. Wayne says, great show, lads. Always great to see Spurs get beat. Arsenal are probably the only London team I like, apart from when they play us, Wayne, of course. But yeah, nice to see Spurs getting a tonkin as usual. And Lloris always gives out gifts as well, doesn't he? You know, he did it against us when he tried to go down and see he was fouled off Wilson when he was never fouled.
He scored an own goal today.
He scored an own goal tonight, didn't he? So
Yeah,
he keeps giving gifts to us. Hugo Lloris.
Yay, want to see the photo? Our old friend in the match today.
Jesus, Richard Masters, eh?
He doesn't look happy. Why did I not stop this?
Well, he couldn't stop it. That was the problem. And that's exactly why Gary Hoffman left the Premier League. He gave 3 months' notice to leave the Premier League once our takeover went through, because his job was to come in and stop the takeover, and it didn't work. So he can go back to Port Country with his mate, Mr. Hairy Hands. Richard Keys, Hoffman and Richard Keys are so close together. I mean, he must really love stroking his hairy hands, mustn't he? So there we go, guys. And on that note,
they're like two peas in a pod.
They are, aren't they? Yeah, good old hairy hands and Gary Hoffman. But guys, on that note, what we've seen today is Newcastle United win by 1-0. 89th minute win from Alexander Isak. The man is back. 4 games, 3 goals. Not a bad ratio. Yes, we know he's been out injured, but still 4 goals in 3 games. Not bad for a striker of his quality. I think he's going to get more. And until then, guys, we'll see you on the next show. Take care and away the lads.
Away the lads.